eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Hey, and welcome to part 3 of the build I'm doing for eModels. That's eModels.co.uk, and it's the Ford GT40 Mk.II from 1966. In this part, basically what I'm doing is fitting the spare tyre to the front of the car and putting a few bits and pieces around the cabin. Hopefully it'll be a shorter clip this time, because the first two were both about an hour. So this one should be a little bit quicker, hopefully. So when we're finished, we should have the spare wheel in, dashboard, and a few bits and pieces around the cabin. Okay, I'll just pause for a second just while I get a bit more bits and pieces, and we'll make a start. Okay, so we start off with fitting the support for the spare tyre, make up the spare tyre itself, and then fit it all in with some belts. And we have the inflator valve for the spare tyre as well. So, what have we got? A stand for the spare tyre. This goes on like so. And we've got the rubber tyre itself and the belts. And a bracket for the belts. So can we see that? And tiny little inflator valve, and a couple of screws. Okay, so what we'll do is get in focus. Okay, so basically this just fits on these two brackets here. Get these tubes out of the way. In like that. So what we'll do is just pause again. I'll get that screwed in, because basically it's just going to be the back of my hand, and we'll move on to making up the wheel. Okay, so that's all fitted. That's screwed in down here, as I say it was. Basically the back of my hand. That's all you would have got to have filmed it. So what we're doing now is make up the belts. We have a buckle for here, and it's these bottom three parts here. This is like a textured stickiness, which will basically stick on to everything else apart from what it's supposed to. But anyway, we'll work through that. So we'll start off with this points to the front of the car, so it'll fit over the wheel like this. And so we'll fit the first one. Sort of shows you how to fit it. This is sort of hold the first one, down the second one, and then stick to itself underneath. So it looks like this. So see if we can duplicate that. So up underneath. This side, I guess there's a faint. Come on. Use the focus, I'm sure. So this would be the top. So the side's just blank. Okay, so try underneath. do everything else. And down again. Sticks to itself, so it looks like this. Then the other end sticks too. I suggest doing it before you fit it, but I haven't done that. Just down the front. So again, I don't really can see that, but basically it's stuck on the front of the support. And we'll bend it over to the front of the car. So what I need to do is fit the other two belts to that, and then we'll make up the tyre. So I'll just pause it. I'll just pause it while I fit those. Okay, so that's got the belt sorted out. So we'll just get them out of the way over the front of the car while we move on to make up the spare tyre. So I've got the hub itself, which we painted silver, because we're doing the light blue model, it's silver wheels. If you're doing the black one, I think they're rather black, which makes sense, but anyway, these are silver. So I've got the valve for the wheel, which slots into a little hole there, which is here. And the valve itself has a short side and a long side. So the long side goes into the hole. So if you can do this without pinking everywhere. Go, it just pushes in. See the rubber tyre. So you've got the tread on here. There's no real manufacturer on it, so it doesn't really matter which way around it goes. And that just pushes over the top. There we go. We have a wheel. And that gets screwed on there with another D screw. Okay, front tyre in, so it's nicely into this semicircle fitting there. Okay. So then we just fold the belts over and they attach on these two little indents there. just cut those lengths off. So that's the spare tyre in. Okay, next part we do is the steering wheel, which is basically just a black UMP's black primer. We can use matte black, and the spokes just gloss black, and the chrome centre, which has this decal on it. Just says Ford GT, just in case you can't make it out. So the first decal. So first of all, there's a T-shaped hole, and this little peg at the back fits in that, like so, and then it'll fit on the wheel. So what I'll do first is actually get the decal on it, which, because the size of it, I'll just use the micro set, don't need any water or anything. So we'll get that on first, and take it from there. Okay, so I've got the decal, just soak the corner with the microsol until it lifts, and take it off the paper onto the part. Get that into the wheel and straight. Brush. Get that straight, so get a bit more solution on it and put it to one side and leave it. Okay, so that's the decal on there sorted. So then look, it'll just push on the end of the drive shaft. Never going to be easy. No, let's be the rest of them. So, bear with. Okay, so that's got it on. That's what I needed. Just a tiny little bit cleaning up the hole, and by cleaning up the end of this, it did show there was a slight D shape and the end of the drive shaft. Let's get this come off. No, it's designed to stay on. So yeah, it's a D-shaped end of the shaft, and basically squeeze it. I can go in a little bit further because there's a little bit of a gap there. There we go. Push it all the way on until it stops. And there is your steering wheel. Okay, so we'll move on to fitting some other bits and pieces around the cabin. So we'll start off with these parts here, which a little box of tricks. Pointing the direction so we know where we're going. So we'll start off with these are parts 13 and 14, which helps if you get the right way around. We should work on the back of the engine. There's a diagram here. So this lug is this. So we're going to this, 13 goes here. Again, these are just been painted chrome, I think it is. With this on the outside. went straight in, the other one didn't. Okay, this is still bothering me on the back here. The plain ones, they just go on the front current screw holes. And lastly we have number 14, which has 2 holes, and this one, which is slightly off centre, goes to the outside as well. Okay, so that's covered up the screw holes. Okay, so this part we've got the gear shift itself, which has a little super gear lever knob, which again wasn't called out with the colour, so I've painted it black. Again, this is just matte black for the UMP primer. That fits in where's that fit in? Oh yeah, down the side there. For some reason I imagined it would be on the middle. Anyway, so this goes in these 2 plugs there. So there's a wide one and a little round one at the end. So that's what we'll do. We'll actually stick some glue in there because that slid right in. Stick some extra thin. I'll let to glue anything because everything's been very snug. So that's in there. Okay, and this goes over the top. Like that. So it goes this way around, and there's 2 holes there, which those 2 go into. Go. So that shows the looks like 4 gear positions. Make sure it's down flat. There we go. And the last piece for this part is this one here, which slots into this big groove here. Okay, and these 2 long tubes that we fit earlier before we put the 2 parts together, they fit on the front of here. Okay, that's got those fitted. Also what I've done is put it around the inside of the gear change because they were flapping around inside the cabin. I'm sure they'd be neater. So that's that bit done. So now we move on to have a look at the dashboard, I think it is. Yeah, making up the dashboard. So what I'll do is I'll get the decals for the instruments, and I'll get that out of the way, and then we'll fit it all together, fit it to the car. Okay, so that's got all the decals on for the instruments. Pretty good on there. So just these into turn in, so I'm assuming when the driver's concentrating where he's going, he can just glance over and then turn towards him. It's quite clever. So, we've got the 2 parts of the goes on like that. So first of all, we have a chrome part with lots of things on there. Let's poke through those holes, lots of switches. Okay, and these are held on with, yes you guessed it, some D-screws. Dashboard itself. There's that, and then again, have a couple of D-screws. So that's pretty good. Okay, so now we fit on there, and again, B-screws hold this together. Yep. D-screws hold this together. Just a couple of parts to fit. There's this it's like a lever or something that goes underneath. So it goes on this way. Underneath, and this part here which goes in, we should put it the right way around. That way. So that's your dashboard construction. So what we need to do now is fit it to the car. These parts here, which goes into these two holes here. Double check, yep. And so here's my tip, got a hole there again with a D-screw or two. Shaping wood. There we go. Let's make the dashboard. Gears lever and some screw holes covered up. And the spare tyre strapped in at the front. Okay, so we'll leave that part there, and as usual, pop along to eModels. Got a great website, get this model there, and along with loads of other stuff for modelling. Okay, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next part. Don't forget, eModels, eModels.co.uk.
eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome.